Right now, everyone in town is walking around completely blind, believing that Ethan simply packed his bags and vanished into thin air. The local authorities are treating this like a standard, run-of-the-mill missing persons case. But if you ask me, that is the most ridiculous assumption anyone could possibly make. We all know Ethan. He's a survivor, a cunning opportunist who knows exactly how to manipulate power and leverage every situation to his absolute advantage. A man like Ethan does not just walk away from a highly lucrative situation without a word to anyone. He does not abandon his schemes unless someone absolutely forces his hand or he stumbles headfirst into a deadly trap that even his silver tongue cannot get him out of. So, what really happened? The leaked script reveals that Ethan dug too deep and found out a massive, earth-shattering secret regarding the true paternity of baby Phoebe. For weeks, Ethan has been playing a dangerous game, using the assumption that he is the father to manipulate Ava and secure his own position of power. But my insider leak confirms that Ethan stumbled upon something undeniable. Maybe he found a hidden medical document tucked away in a hospital archive, or perhaps he overheard a hushed, desperate conversation in the dark corners of the gallery. Whatever it was, the pieces finally clicked together in his brilliant mind. He realized he is not the biological father of Phoebe. The real father is someone far more dangerous, a man who has been hiding in plain sight. The moment Ethan discovered this truth, a massive target was painted on his back. The real father could not afford to let Ethan breathe a word of this secret to a single soul. I am telling you, the upcoming kidnapping scene is going to be one of the most intense sequences we have seen in years. Ethan is cornered in a dimly lit, isolated location, likely the back storage room of the art gallery. The kidnapper does not just want to scare him, he wants to silence him permanently and completely control the narrative. Ethan fights back with everything he has, throwing punches and using every dirty trick in his arsenal, but the assailant is highly trained, methodical, and chillingly calm. In a matter of minutes, Ethan is brutally subdued, bound, gagged, and prepared to be dragged into the abyss. But here is where the Sweeps Week drama truly kicks into high gear, ladies. Enter Ava. She is absolutely not looking for trouble. In fact, she has zero intention of investigating anything. She is simply in the absolute wrong place at the absolute worst possible time. She walks into that dimly lit room, the sharp clicking of her high heels echoing off the cold floor. The lighting is dark, the shadows are long, and the atmosphere is thick with impending doom. Ava stops dead in her tracks. Her eyes adjust to the darkness, and she sees the horrifying struggle unfolding right in front of her. She sees a mysterious man dragging the unconscious body of Ethan into the shadows. In a moment of pure, unadulterated panic, Ava makes a fatal mistake. She gasps. It is just a single, sharp intake of breath, but in that deadly quiet room, it sounds like a gunshot. The kidnapper freezes instantly. He drops Ethan's limp body to the floor and slowly, terrifyingly, turns his head to lock eyes with Ava. The realization hits her like a freight train crashing through a brick wall. She recognizes the face staring back at her. The kidnapper realizes immediately that his entire master plan is compromised because there is now an eyewitness to his crime. To protect his explosive secret, he has no choice but to eliminate the woman standing by the door. What happens next is going to be incredibly difficult to watch. The kidnapper lunges at Ava with the speed and ferocity of a wild predator. A terrifying, desperate struggle ensues amidst the priceless artwork and fragile sculptures. Ava fights back like an absolute lioness, knocking over heavy furniture, clawing frantically at his face, and screaming for help, but the man is simply too strong and too ruthless. With a calculated, devastating blow, he strikes Ava down. She crumples to the cold, hard floor, gasping for air, her lifeblood pooling around her. The attacker stands over her, his eyes devoid of any human emotion, before grabbing Ethan and vanishing into the night, leaving Ava in critical, life-threatening condition. When Ava is finally discovered, the entire town is thrown into absolute chaos. She is rushed into emergency surgery, her life hanging by the thinnest of threads. The doctors are completely baffled by the sheer brutality and precision of the attack. Her loved ones gather in the hospital waiting room, weeping, demanding answers, and praying for a miracle. But the only person who knows the identity of the monster who did this is currently trapped in a deep, medically induced coma. This is classic, top-tier soap opera gold, ladies. The vital witness is silenced by a tragic medical crisis, leaving the vicious villain completely free to roam the hospital halls, playing the role of a deeply concerned citizen while secretly monitoring his victim's pulse. So, Who is the monster hiding behind a charming smile? If you have been paying close attention to the recent episodes, you already know the answer. It is Tristan. Yes, the handsome newcomer who has been hovering around every major event with an unsettling sense of calm. Tristan has not been in town for very long, but he already knows way too much about everyone's business. He always manages to show up exactly when crucial information is being discussed. His demeanor is entirely too polished, too collected, and frankly, too suspicious. If the writers are building up a secret ultimate villain, Tristan is the brightest, most obvious candidate on the entire roster. My insider sources confirm the massive theory that is about to break the internet. Tristan is the actual biological father of baby Phoebe. This identity has been meticulously hidden for years, deeply tied to a massive, dark conspiracy from the past. Tristan came to town with a very specific, dangerous agenda, and keeping his connection to Phoebe a secret is the absolute cornerstone of his entire operation. Ethan was simply the first person smart enough to piece the puzzle together, leaving Tristan with no other option but to kidnap him before the truth could be broadcasted to the world. Ava just happened to become collateral damage in Tristan's ruthless pursuit of control. If this sleek storyline plays out exactly as I am hearing, the kidnapping of Ethan is not just a random, isolated crime. It is the opening move in a much larger, far more sinister game. Tristan is clearly hiding a mountain of dark secrets far beyond just being Phoebe's father. He could be tied to an unsolved murder from decades ago, or he might be the secret head of a manipulative underground network that has been pulling the strings in town for years. Ethan was merely the first domino to fall. Ava became the tragic second victim simply because she saw something she was never meant to see. The sheer scale of Tristan's deception is going to shake the foundation of every major family in town. But here's the most thrilling part of the leak. Ethan is not dead. Tristan is far too strategic to just kill a man who possesses such valuable information. Instead, Tristan is holding Ethan captive in a highly secure, undisclosed location, likely a soundproof bunker hidden miles away from civilization. Tristan is keeping Ethan alive to use him as the ultimate pawn, a bargaining chip to control the unfolding chaos. While the entire town mourns Ethan, believing him to be dead or gone forever, Ethan is actually locked in a psychological war of wills with his captor. Imagine the intense, Emmy-worthy dialogue we are going to get from that dark bunker. Tristan pacing back and forth, arrogantly gloating about his grand, evil design, while Ethan sits chained to a chair, battered, bruised, but absolutely unbroken. Ethan is a survivor. He will be analyzing every single word Tristan says, looking for the tiniest crack in the villain's armor. Ethan knows that Tristan's massive ego is his greatest vulnerability. Tristan truly believes he is the smartest man in the room, but Ethan has talked his way out of worse situations. The tension between these two men is going to be thick enough to cut with a knife. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, the Sweeps Week drama will focus heavily on Ava's agonizingly slow recovery. When she finally opens her eyes, the writers are going to hit us with the classic, infuriating amnesia trope. Ava will not remember the attack. She will not remember the face of the man who nearly ended her life. This will give Tristan the perfect opportunity to slither into her hospital room, holding her hand, bringing her flowers, and pretending to be a supportive friend. All the while, he will be staring into her fragile eyes, secretly trying to determine if he needs to inject a lethal dose of poison into her IV line to finish the job once and for all. But we all know Ava is a fighter. The amnesia will not last forever. The memories are going to come rushing back in a series of terrifying, fragmented flashbacks. She will remember the cold floor. She will remember the struggle. And finally, she will remember the cold, dead eyes of Tristan staring down at her. The suspense is going to be absolutely unbearable as Ava realizes that the monster who attacked her is standing right there in the room, smiling at her. She will have to play a dangerous game of cat and mouse, pretending she still has no memory while desperately trying to find a way to alert the authorities before Tristan realizes the truth. Simultaneously, Ethan is not just going to sit in that bunker waiting to be rescued. He is going to orchestrate a daring, explosive escape. Using his incredible intellect and a sheer, desperate will to survive, Ethan will find a way to break his chains, outsmart Tristan's guards, and fight his way back to civilization. The parallel storytelling here is going to be phenomenal. As Ava's memories fully return and she prepares to expose Tristan, Ethan will be racing against the clock, bloody and exhausted, determined to reach the hospital before Tristan can silence Ava permanently. The climax is going to be nothing short of legendary. Picture this: a massive thunderstorm raging outside the hospital, the emergency lights casting a sinister red glow down the corridors. Tristan finally realizes that Ava remembers everything. He drops the charming facade, pulling a weapon, ready to eliminate his final obstacle. And Ava, weak but fiercely defiant, stares him down, refusing to be a victim ever again. And right at that heart-stopping moment, the hospital doors burst open. Ethan arrives, battered, bruised, and furious, pointing a shaking finger directly at Tristan and declaring the truth for the entire world to hear. The fallout from this explosive confrontation is going to change the landscape of the show forever. Tristan will officially transition from a mysterious, charming newcomer into the central, undisputed supervillain of the next major story arc. The revelation that he is Phoebe's biological father, combined with the exposure of his violent crimes against Ethan and Ava, will send shockwaves through every single family. Alliances will be shattered, trust will be completely broken, and the town will never look at this man the same way again. This is exactly the kind of high-stakes, heart-pounding storytelling that we have been begging the writers to give us. This storyline is also going to provide massive redemption arcs for both Ava and Ethan. Ava will rise from the ashes of this brutal attack stronger and more ruthless than ever before, completely focused on making Tristan pay for what he did to her. Ethan, having survived unimaginable psychological and physical torture, will emerge as an unexpected hero, the man who finally brought the town's greatest threat into the light. Their shared trauma will undoubtedly forge a powerful, unbreakable bond between them, potentially setting the stage for an unstoppable alliance as they work together to tear down Tristan's remaining empire. I am telling you, ladies, you do not want to miss a single second of the upcoming episodes. The writers are pulling out all the stops, and this Tristan reveal is going to be the talk of the soap opera world for months to come. What do you guys think about this massive leak? Do you believe Tristan is truly capable of being the ultimate mastermind, or is there another twist hiding in the shadows? Drop your thoughts, your wildest theories, and your frustrations in the comments below, because I want to hear every single detail of what you are thinking. Stay tuned, keep your eyes peeled, and get ready for the ride of your life.